Hey, hey, hey! Hey, it's a podcast. I'm here. I'm Abe. Who's this?
This is Christian.
And we are the co-host of Pop Culture Petri Dish.
Yeah.
PCPD, baby!
Yeah.
Episode 6 coming in hot. What are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about extraterrestrial planets. Basically, and more specifically, ones in the Goldilocks Zone, and just like the most fascinating ones.
Other planets that might support life.
Yes.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, the Goldilocks Zone.
Take us through that.
All right. Goldilocks Zone is the habitable area. It's also known as the habitable zone, which I guess is probably the more apt and like everybody understands what habitable means, I would think. But anyways, Goldilocks because it's not too hot, not too cold. It's just the right temperature to support liquid water, which is the only thing that we're aware of currently that is an absolute necessity to having life, to creating life on it.
Not just an area that Hans Christian Andersen invents planets on. It's a terrible joke. It's not a good joke. No, so Goldilocks Zone, not too hot, not too cold, just right. Mm-hmm. Soup and beds and all that. But for sustaining water.
Yes. Liquid water.
And life as we know it.
Yeah.
Because who knows if there's like a silicon-based life form.
Exactly. We don't know for sure. And there's, of course, planets like Titan and I think Europa is another one that's covered in ice. Titan's a moon. Right. Moons.
I'm
you. Sorry.
Who's the big science man now, Christian? I got you.
But there are moons like Titan and I believe Europa that are covered in ice that could support life underneath with liquid water because we don't know if there's liquid underneath all that ice. We assume that there probably is.
I thought we knew that like Titan has like seas.
We're fairly certain.
But we're not sure if there's like animals.
Right, exactly.
Because there's a thermo...
Yes, the volcanic vents and stuff like that underneath.
Yeah, and like chemotropes and shit.
Yeah.
Like, so there could just be like little space organisms.
Shrimps.
Yeah, little
stuff
shrimps
like
that are like, kill us. Because that's what I imagine any organism would. I mean, we're inviting death upon our door every time we go out into space. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. You heard it here first. All right, that's the end of the episode. Everybody go home. Hit the showers. We did it. No. So, yeah. What are some of the best fictional planets that like we've thought of? That was my question.
I like that. I guess some of the best fictional planets,
like coolest, or just like, oh, that's a cool thing that we thought of.
Yeah, I like some of the ones from. I'm a big Star Wars nerd, and even though a lot of the actual science in Star Wars is nonsense because it's a fantasy. Yeah. There's some that are inhabited by like the Mon Calamari, which they have a completely ocean covered world, which is why that they're squid people.
Yeah, they're literally calamaris.
Exactly. It's not a smart.
George. Just go fuck yourself.
It is not a smart movie.
Sheev is the Emperor's first. God damn it! I will never get over this. Sheev.
But then, like, you have things like the forest moon of Endor, the Wookiee planet Kashyyyk, which is mostly forests, but it still has seas and stuff like that. I think it's important to note that what we know about life on our planet and how we got to being human is basically we needed all of the things to be in exactly the right way. We needed to have a moon, which caused tides, which caused tidal shifts because...
And that's... Also, we have like a tilt.
Right.
So we have seasons.
Yes. We have seasons. We had a bunch of large regions of shallow seas, which necessitated which actually is the reason why we had life spring from the oceans first, because there was enough sunlight getting into the shallow seas, and all the minerals and stuff that are in the ocean eventually formed plant life, and plant life gave rise to more complex life, and that all started in the shallow seas and with the tides because of our moon. We also need an atmosphere. There's a ton of things that went very specifically right on our planet that it's very hard to find looking at our solar system. But
How do you say the one that we found? Because didn't we find a system starts with the G, Gliza, something like that?
There's one like that. I think there's one called Ganymede too. That is
Ganymede's a moon of Saturn, I think.
Oh, okay, you're right.
But
you're right
there's
again.
I'm a science man. I'm space boy. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like GL something. Gliza 2B.
You're right.
And they found
it starts with GL, and then it has its little numerical designation
there's
as well.
4 planets in the Goldilocks Zone, and like a handful of moons that we're aware of.
Yeah.
That are like, oh, this might support water.
Right.
And if it's got water, like not frozen water, if it's got like water, good bet.
Yeah.
Yes, some kind of life might be there. Or we should go there, and whatever life there is, we should eradicate it. And then just move in, because we are the space invaders. That's you heard it from that. Elect me as president. I'm the best one.
But yeah, we need liquid water, but they also need an atmosphere, because if, let's say, our Goldilocks zone moved a little bit out of where it is right now and encapsulated Mars, and all of the ice on Mars melted, all of that would just eventually evaporate away because of the fact that it doesn't have an atmosphere to contain the water cycle. So we also need the planet to have an atmosphere of some kind. But there's some good things about what we're doing right now, because we think that we could probably create atmospheres with something as simple as pollution.
Maybe like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was beings that were much like us.
Yeah.
Or like as close as you can get, considering all of the randomness and chaos that the world, the cosmos has to offer. Mm-hmm. And they made like machines, and machines are like Cylons are what come out of humans. Humans just die out, and their equivalent of Cylons are who we meet, and they're like I think that something that does not need something that's perfectly suited for space.
Yeah,
we're perfectly suited for Earth.
Yeah, and
there are literally one Earths. So we're not gonna do good in space. Right. That's why we, send the robots.
Yeah.
So first contact is gonna be robot to robot, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of the theories surrounding that is that yes, first contact will be
and
us.
Then they'll fuck. Just 2 robots fucking on a planet. Sorry.
No, but that's as our purview, as our scope of the universe gets bigger. The most likely thing for us to find first are the remnants of whatever civilization, and that includes robots.
Right. So there's got to be a robot planet, like planets that are like, so when we say extraterrestrial, like planets, and so extraterrestrial, not of this Terra.
Yeah.
A planet that supports life. And if life knows no difference between like biological life or like synthetic life.
Yeah.
Any planet is extraterrestrial.
It's true. Yeah, because we very well could make robots that are adaptable to. But robots
just living on Venus.
Yeah. They don't need that. Our temperature tolerance is really weak compared to what we could create.
Yeah, we only are like, in a way, we're destined only to exist. We only know the ability to exist on Earth. Our biology is suited for one and only planet and specific gravity.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that we have even a fucking moon that we can like run around on. Like, that's not really a thing that happens all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
It's almost like someone made it for us. Am I secretly finding religion? I don't know. You'll find out next episode.
But no, and of course, one way to overcome that is us becoming post-human, using things like genetic altering and using robotics and stuff like that. We could very well be capable of being a more spacefaring race, but as of right now, humans don't have that ability.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to send is going to be robots.
Or James Cameron.
He would volunteer to go, I'm sure.
I secretly still think he's a robot because he's just, all of his ideas are the same. And he's like, I want to go into the sea. I'm like, all right, King Trident, settle down.
The next step is space, logically.
Yeah. Where no one can hear you be James Cameron. All right, that's enough Ridley Scott, James Cameron crossovers for today. Okay, so we talked about like some cool planets that exist, and we talked about the Goldilocks Zone, and we talked about how there actually is other. We're aware of the how many planets do we know of that are like support life? Like dozens or like 2?
I think they're tracking currently. NASA has a running calculator of this, and last I knew, the ones that they had actually identified. I mean, it's really hard to confirm because they're basically just searching for the signature of the planet's gravity as it crosses between Earth and the path of the star,
and like what color it glows and stuff.
Right, exactly. They're limited in their way to do it, but of what we've observed, I think we're already into the hundreds of potential planets in Goldilocks zones.
Oh wow!
So, they're out there. We just don't know exactly, and they're all sorts of different sizes too. There's some that are extremely large. It has to be a rocky planet as well, because obviously. Out further in our solar system is only gas giants.
When you said that, I was like, a rocky planet? Like, yo, Adrian! Like, it's just a bunch of Rockies?
Yeah.
No.
It's an underdog planet.
One. Yeah, it's an underdog planet. Or is it just a planet full of Goldilocks? Just these tiny little girls with pigtails who are just like, I don't want to eat the porridge. God, shut the fuck up. I don't know why I'm saying that to Goldilocks. She's fine. I'm sure she'll grow into a fine woman. I don't like Goldilocks.
Unless she gets eaten by bears first.
Unless she does. Yeah, so... Oh my God, is Goldilocks Planets just little girls and bears? just throw them into the mix and it's just a planet and we get to watch? Because I want to go there. I want to go. We have hundreds of these planets, you're telling me? Oh my God, this is great.
That was always a really...
Space just became amazing.
That's always a really funny thing to me about like the sci-fi tropes of planets. Planets end up being just one ecosystem that we have here.
Right. Yeah. So
on our planet.
Venus is all the same thing. We are crazy that are like, I mean, there's like, so other planets in our solar system, they do have differences. Like there's the dark side of the moon, for example, on our moon. But most planets are like just emphatically one thing, right?
Sure, yeah.
That's usually the case. Like, so they don't have like the tundra and the desert and the forests. And
right. Because for all that to be created, you need a planet to support biological life. Yeah. And that's where our ecosystems come from.
Watersheds.
Is the biodiversity.
Yep.
So to begin with, you have to be in the Goldilocks zone. Then you have to have an atmosphere. Then you have to have life spring from your planet in one way or another.
What is like the weirdest... Because I'm thinking of like, let's say there's a planet out there that has seasons. What's like the weirdest season? Because we have 4 seasons.
Sure.
What's the weirdest season? Is there just like a season of bugs? We're just like, great, it's bugs again. Yeah, from March to April, bugs. And they have to deal with that problem because they just come out of their holes in the ground and they're like, we are bugs. it's this time of the year, because I mean, like, if what you're saying is that like the organism, like there's kind of like a mind meld between the planet and its weather systems, and obviously all the things that are necessary for that to exist, but also like the idea that we put carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, like that alters, like what our seasons are. So there is kind of like a Venn diagram of like organism and just rocky planet.
Yeah.
There's probably some really cool seasons out there.
Yeah. Like, I think I don't know if it's Mercury or Venus, but one of them has basically the environment is toxic. I think it's Venus.
Oh. Sorry.
No, it's fine. The environment is completely toxic and there's constantly like acid rain and stuff like that going on all the time. The Earth went through a period where it was millions of years where it was nothing but lightning storms constantly. The Earth still had its oceans and stuff like that, but it was just covered in basically a planet-wide system of lightning storms because of the geological activity and the atmospheric activity that was going on at the time.
Yeah.
So there's probably planets that have lightning season.
Well, yeah, and also like Jupiter has the red eye.
Yeah.
That's just an eternal like storm, hurricane, right?
Right, and because their atmosphere is different, the atmospheric pressure and the gases that are within Jupiter can create a storm that has lasted literally thousands of years and will probably last forever.
Oh man.
As far as we are concerned as humans.
So Bugs is still on the table.
Bugs is absolutely.
Bugs is on the table.
Bug hurricanes is definitely a season.
Bug hurricane. My next movie is going to be Bug Hurricane. You know, Sharknado, Bug Hurricane. Here we go. Let's do it. Now let them fight. Who would win? A tornado of sharks or a hurricane of bugs? Who would win?
I think the hurricane of bugs. I have to give it to them.
Dude, I used to do, like, super problematic. I used to do Bug War when I was a kid.
I think lots of kids did.
Yeah, because you're catching frogs and throwing rocks, and
sure.
you're 8, and
yeah,
and I always won Bug War, because everyone would come at it with like, "Oh, I brought spiders." I'm like, "That's cute." Ants, motherfucker. Ants are the real jam, because it was always biomass related. So it's like
they're a team too.
Oh yeah, so like you can get thousands of ants worth one scorpion. Fucking take the ants every day of the week. Ants are the fucking best.
They are.
So yeah, I'm just saying I want to go to this planet, this bug hurricane planet. Yeah, man. Okay, so what do you think is the most likely scenario? That we find a planet that isn't habitable, but we like live in domes, or we like terraform a planet, or we find a planet that can, like, is cool with us. Like,
right.
So to me, that third problem is, like, we have to get us off this rock and, like, travel.
Of course.
Do you think that's more likely than just building something on Mars? Or do you think, like, terraforming is in the mix?
I think terraforming will definitely be in the mix, because we already kind of know how to do that. We've done it by accident. So we just...
When did we do it by accident?
I mean, we're accidentally changing the environment of the world right now.
But, like, not, like, with a purpose. We're just...
Exactly.
It's just there's a result.
But then we just have to work backwards scientifically.
Okay, I see what you mean.
To create the environment that we need to live in. And so I think that is going to be the first thing that we do. And we'll do it in our local solar system. We'll do it with Titan or any one of the moons around Jupiter or Saturn. And probably Mars. We could do it there too. And I think...
Yeah, there's a bunch of ice on Mars, isn't there? So we could, like, just burn that shit up.
Right, exactly. Once we create an atmosphere, if our atmosphere is thick enough, then it'll heat up faster, and we can basically melt all the ice on Mars, which, I mean, hopefully we learn our lesson with the Earth and come to a balance of how much of the ice we melt on Mars. But, yeah, that's going to be the first thing we do, I think. And then eventually it'll come to colonization, because... and I don't think that we'll necessarily, and I think we'll just keep terraforming. Like, that's going to be something that we'll find new planets and be like, oh, okay, well, this one's not right.
Stop.
Yeah.
There's something kind of poetic about, like, in our own ability to create our own destruction, we found an answer to a different subset of problems.
Yeah.
You know, like, because we're so bad at Earth, that actually might help us at Mars.
Yeah.
And that's, like, a kind of weird dichotomy, but also makes total sense to me.
Yeah. And I think that'll definitely be a thing that we do. And of course, even if we find planets that aren't immediately habitable by us and that need some terraforming, there are things out just in the galaxy that we can use for resources. We can use asteroids that are in our asteroid belt that are for like mining precious minerals and mining iron and things like that we need to make steel on whatever planet. And we can capture comets to melt the ice in them and give ourselves clean water. And we can do all these sorts of things. And I think that is kind of what the future of colonization for our species, if we make it that far, is going to be just using the resources that we have that are just out in the universe.
Do you think that, so now we're talking about resources, and that begs, like, to me, makes me think of a question, which is, do you think that in order to, like, successfully get off this rock and do one of the three scenarios, or all three of them that I mentioned earlier, do you think that space needs to be, like, privatized? Do you think that, like, in order for us, like, are we going to solve money or abolish money before we are spacefaring?
That's a really tough question, because I think we probably need to. We need to
do which, like, privatize.
We need to get away
space
from money,
travel,
I think.
And because there's Planetary Systems. Is that the name of it? The asteroid mining venture that James Cameron. Yeah, King Triton. And also the guy from Google. Yeah. Larry
Bezos.
Page.
Oh, Larry Page.
Planetary Resources Incorporated.
Yeah.
They're sending. I was reading about it. They just send a rocket. It has robots on it, mm-hmm. and then the robots get there and then mine, mm-hmm. and then in that like 30 years, the asteroid or the meteor like whips around, and they send another rocket that has new robots, and they are the robots that take all of the like stuff that they mined, and put them in boxes and then jump off the planet when it gets close to us, so that we maximize like our fuel quotient. Mm-hmm. And they're like, in one swoop, there's this in like 10 years or something like that, they're gonna send something, and it's this like iron and nickel rich asteroid that's just like whipping around. Yeah. And they're gonna get all that, and then and they're like, we can double like the Earth's iron in overnight. Yeah. Like it will literally have a rocket that just has new iron. And I'm like, but like how much do you know? Like, but also the thing's on there, right? Like, and it's gonna like take us all over. Like it will be like, good iron, but like also the thing, not so good. Fucking love that movie.
But no, I do think that that's like the future of mining. Is we have things like comets and asteroids and stuff like that pass by our planet on a pretty regular basis. Right. So all it's going to take is people figuring out exactly how we need to send some kind of rocket to impact it so it knocks it into our orbit. And then once it is a part of the Earth's orbit, then we can mine basically however much we want. We can send Bruce Willis to actually just mine and not try to destroy it.
Because just send miners to be astronauts, because it's not like one job's harder than the other. Oh my god!
But we just send astronauts with mining robots, and then we have as much robots. Have as much iron and different metals,
and then we use it to build spaceships. Yeah, and we don't need money. Yeah, so we're now Starfleet, because like that's the thing that people don't usually talk about, and apparently in TNG and Star Trek, it's canon that there's like no part of society that isn't Starfleet. Oh, okay. And they don't have money because they have replicators. Why would they need money?
Exactly. Once you get to that point, you don't need money.
Yeah, which is kind of strange, because it also meant like with the stopping of money in there, it's also the stopping of art. Yeah, because they like never mention like, oh, you hear this new band? No, they're always like, yes, Beethoven. We will listen to Beethoven, only Beethoven. And it's just like, are you sure there isn't like a new like Beyonce kind of thing, or like what's going on with Starfleet? They're like, no one makes music, no one makes art, because that was done for money. And I'm like, that's coming in hot with that opinion.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, because I don't have money, but I'm making art.
Yeah. Oh yes, you are the art boy. It's I think we need to privatize space in order to, and like the only problem with space right now, and the reason that like on a governmental level, in my belief, is that there's no reason, it's so much nothing up there. Yeah. That and it's very expensive to go to the nothing. Yeah. That it's like, why would any government do that? But the second that someone like this Planetary Resources And fucking James Cameron goes, like, and he finds his fucking, like, perfect planet, which is just like Avatar. They need to, like, they need to play the money market economy of home so that they can get away, so we can get away. Like, we have to mine these near-Earth asteroids and sell it on the Earth market.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about, like, actually going into space, right? So that is, by definition, a format of privatization.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, because I think otherwise the only way that, and this is a possibility too, is if we find out that we're doomed if we don't get out of Earth.
Oh, yes.
That's the other way that, okay, governments are going to get on board with, we have 15 years to get to Mars now.
Yeah.
Everybody has to cooperate now.
Yeah.
Then we'll get people that are actually working together in entire governments.
Man, I don't even know. Like, if there was an Armageddon situation.
Yeah.
Like, how fast could we?
I don't know.
Or like a deep impact or a geostorm.
It's hard to say, especially with, like, now, I mean, and not to make this political, but with people controlling the media and people not believing the media, and it just takes,
like, I think we're just fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
if it happened right now, sure, yeah, we're fucked.
We just can't coexist.
Yeah.
Humans barely can understand humans.
Yeah.
And we're xenophobic and we have a lot of issues.
Yeah, if we had Armageddon right now, it would basically be up to, like, Elon Musk to save us.
Yeah. And the guy's busy throwing cars into space. So I don't even know what the fuck is happening. I remember when I heard the news and I was like, so this is, like, the smartest guy we got? Like, and he just decided to throw a fucking sports car into space.
This is Tony Stark?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jesus Christ. He's literally an Iron Man too, I think. Just like, he just is like, yes, I am Iron Man. And then everyone's like, no, Elon, we didn't think you were Iron Man. It's like, I am Iron Man. God, yeah, we need, like, you're right, though. I think we would need, like, a space messiah.
Yeah.
We would need, like, or a space Buddha. You know, someone to be like, everyone shut the fuck up. All right, this is what's happening. And we're all just like, do we all agree? Yep, we all agree with space Buddha. Because otherwise, like, we have to play this slow and, frankly, tricky gamble of trying to privatize spacefaring.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and we can barely, like, agree on taking care of our planet now that we all live on, that we see is suffering and could kill us.
Yeah, everything wants to kill us all the time. And we're making robots. Like, that's the other episode. But, like, we're making robots and they want to kill us, and we're just like, well, we're your creator. Now you're gonna die. Like, we just have no reason. No one likes us. Aliens don't like us. Just a bunch of Rockies. That's my favorite planet, is the Rocky planet. It's just like, hey, yo, hey. Come back, kid, hey. Is that what he sounds like in Rocky? Yeah.
I got an oxygen-rich atmosphere.
Yeah. Don't listen to those humans. All right.
Got tidal oceans.
Polly. Don't drink yourself to death. All right. All right. What final thoughts on planets full of diamonds and planets of little girls and bears? What's your hot take, if you got any other?
I don't know if I have a hot take, because this is something that I think we all kind of agree on, that space is pretty amazing, and I guess this is a hot take, but we need to direct some resources to getting out there and just seeing what else is there, because it's going to be worth it. Like, over the last couple administrations, they worry about the economy because people are suffering and there's no more mining jobs. There's mining jobs. They're just in space. We can get all of the iron that we'll ever need. We can get all of the metal and resources that we'll ever need just in our asteroid belts. That's the next step for NASA, is that it's going to be something that's good. I mean, it's already intrinsically good because exploration and scientific discovery is a good thing. But it's also, I think this is how we have to pitch it to everybody who's worried about the economy. NASA is going to be the thing that gets us to a place where we're in a post-want economy. Where we aren't going to want for anything because we have literally all the water we'll ever need, all the metal we'll ever need, all of the minerals we'll ever need.
That sounds amazing. Well, thank you, Neil deGrasse Tyson, for stopping by. This has been another episode of Pop Culture Petri Dish. Thank you for stopping by. Hope everyone enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week in 2 weeks. I don't know.
Sometime.
I run this channel, and I don't even know how it works. All right. Get the fuck out of here.
Bye, everyone.
This has been a Small Beans endeavor. We're a bunch of pals who make podcasts, sketches, music, web series, and movies. The Beans always have new ideas percolating, so make sure to check us out at patreon.com/smallbeans. That's patreon.com/smallbeans, where you can browse all of our current and past content, see what we've got planned in the future, and learn how your support can help the small beans grow into huge, giant monster beans. If you enjoyed this content module, please like, rate, subscribe, or tell a friend about us. We love you!